So, Mark, did you see that video of the person who did something from Vegas past? They won a car. People say they don't give them away anymore, but here you go.
I thought this was going to be Vegas vacation when I saw it on the rundown. Like somebody wins it at a slot machine on the big banks, and that's what we were going to be talking about. But it looks like it was just like a 4th of July weekend celebration. Do you think it set in that she owes $10,000 on it when it was all said and done?
That's what I was going to say. Excited until you get the tax bill.
Yeah, take the money. Always take the money.
So, Mark, Independence Day happened, but let's talk cars for a second. They don't give them away at slot machines anymore.
I know. I was thinking that we had talked about this not too long ago. There was still 1 or 2 around town somewhere, and you had said it was Four Queens, but we didn't notice it when we were walking through the casino on our tour, so it doesn't seem like it's there anymore. And if it takes like 15 years or 20 years for somebody to win the car, it doesn't look so great sitting up there, does it?
It doesn't. That's why they figured it out. Give the stuff away as part of these bigger drawings and promotions. Unfortunately, another sign of the maturation of loyalty programs.
I don't know. I'd still take like a 15-year-old car. It'd be kind of fun.
So let's talk 4th of July. And it was America's 250th. All in the same weekend. We celebrated our birthday and we lost in the World Cup. But Las Vegas did it big. There were crazy fireworks all over the city. Normally there aren't, Mark, but driving home from the Strip, I saw these people just lighting off fireworks in the Goodwill parking lot everywhere. And they gave out 30 tickets in the entire city.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a good way to get arrested or a ticket or something. If you're doing it in Goodwill parking lot, I'm sure there's a potential for roof fires and all those kinds of things. Every time 4th of July comes around, I remember that viral video of the person lighting the firework. It tips over, shoots into all the fireworks in the car, and just like explodes the front yard. So you always have to be a little bit cautious.
But only 30 tickets in the entire city. There were millions of fireworks up in the air. That tells you how enforced all of this is. But I was on the Strip. I think this was amazing. They did fireworks from 9 Strip hotels, but it didn't feel like New Year's Eve. First off, it's not midnight. So as an old man, I felt good there. And it just felt so much more low key than on New Year's Eve. And we spent time over at Sahara, went out to the sidewalk there. So we had the Strap behind us, Fontainebleau right in front of us. We could see Resorts World, Treasure Island, Caesar's Palace. I think it was probably a little bit better center Strip, a little bit more crowded, but a good time. I hope they do it more often. I don't think they're going to because it didn't seem like it drew a whole bunch of people down to the Strip.
Yeah, and I know we wanted to be like in the center of it for New Year's Eve since you hadn't done it in forever and I had never done it. That was fun, but I do wonder, like out by Sahara, that you'd get a better vantage point even on New Year's Eve. You just wouldn't have like that environment and the live shut down street, everybody standing in the middle of it. So you miss out on that. But if you want to watch fireworks, I think you picked a great location for it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, easy in and out, all of that sort of stuff. We were debating whether to take the monorail and go elsewhere, walk to Fontainebleau, but we had fun at Sahara, didn't lose a ton of money, and earned a free collectible towel, so life doesn't get better than that.
Oh, no hoodies?
No hoodies, but I will show off the towel on the MTM Vegas after show.
Ooh, teaser, sign up now.
But overall, a great time. There was fireworks, of course, at the station casinos, elsewhere around town, and all over the country. It seemed like everybody did it a little bit bigger this year.
Yeah, I mean, our neighborhood where we were at, they had their own little fireworks show on the 4th. The city fireworks were on the 3rd, and I don't think the city went as big as I would have expected since it was the 250th. It was kind of normal and not the greatest show. I think the one that they shot off in the neighborhood was actually better, and probably because we're a lot closer to it and all of that. But it was a lot of fun, and it seemed like everybody was in good spirits, which has been rough the last few years, so it's cool to see.
My favorite part about the 4th of July is watching other people light money on fire because it costs so much money for those fireworks, and I get to see them the same that they do.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Just be cheap like
it's
us.
Like
don't pay, just watch.
It's like you don't want to buy a boat, you just have to make a friend that owns a boat.
There you go. Well, let's flip this completely and head over to Resorts World, talk some news that came out about a new country bar. Miss Loretta's is coming to Resorts World. They finally got the memo that country bars are in, and they say this fall Resorts World introduces...
If Resorts World's in on it, it's completely dead. It's over.
Hey, they got the tiki trend perfectly, didn't they? They nailed that one. I'm just kidding. But they call it a new destination where country and soul meets the kind of nights that start with good intentions and end with a better story. So that is coming. I don't know where it's coming. It didn't say. There's a lot of information they say is coming that they didn't give us here. But the country bar phenomenon coming to the North Strip.
No, I mean it's interesting that they're adding something new. It's good to see, and I love the the way they described it, adding a vibe and a place you come with intentions and then leave with stories, or come with bad intentions, something like that. It really fits the Vegas motif and all of that, and I'm excited if they can pull it off. It sounds like just what they need. Like everybody says, feels like a mall. There's not much of a vibe. If you had a couple really cool spots, that would add a lot to it. Bring people in, have kind of that atmosphere, so we'll have to see if they pull it off. I mean, we've jumped the shark with country bars for sure. Vegas is Nashville of the West all of a sudden, but it seems like people are enjoying it. So maybe it is the right play for them.
Is this proof that Resorts World has no idea what it is?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they're just completely locked. They're just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks at this point, it feels like.
Well, one promotion that has been very successful is downtown, the At Par promotion at Derek Stevens Properties, where they're basically matching the Canadian dollar at 1-to-1 to the US dollar. And I saw this article in the Review Journal talking about how successful the promotion's been. It goes through August 31st, so Canadians still have time. And the cool thing, remember, you don't have to be staying there. You can do up to $500 in slot play, I believe, and obviously pay for rooms, food, drink, all of that stuff. They said 75,000 Canadians have visited the property since this began, and 15 million in slot coin in resulted from it, in 7,500 hotel nights. So overall, seems very successful.
Yeah, I think it was a great idea by Derek. We've talked about how less and less Canadians were coming, partly because their dollar is weak, and another part because of all the geopolitical stuff going on. So I think this, even if this was the same amount of Canadians that were going to come anyway, at least he got all of them or a lot of them to come into his properties and spend some money, and they got some value out of it. So I think it was a win-win. And we've always talked about how Derek's really great at coming up with cool promos and kind of unique things to promote his properties. And this just is another one that shows that off.
Yeah, it's good business. I mean, it is a stiff discount. I think the Canadian dollar is at like 70 cents right now. So the discount is pretty good. If you were a Canadian, why not go down there? Like you said, even if it's not your preferred place to stay, stuff like that. So always good to see these off the wall promotions working. And we need you, Canadians. Please come back.
Eh?
As a reminder, we have our Patreon. You can join it and get access to the weekly after show where you will get to see all kinds of crazy stuff, including the Sahara exclusive towel. Patreon.com/MTM Vegas. Lots going on over there. Check it out. Thanks to everybody who supports us in our Patreon community. So this next story is interesting. This comes from a Vegas Matt video where casino manager Adam of the El Cortez makes this comment. It was a question about, are there any slot machines that are too risque for a casino, that they go too far for a casino to want them? And he said by the time it gets to that level where it's manufactured, that's already been weeded out. But he did talk about AP slots and how the El Cortez does not like them. Bill Krakenberger chimed in, kind of called him a hypocrite, saying, you don't allow them in your casino. But Adam has posted videos of himself playing on Advantage Play machines. Vital Vegas chimed in, said he doesn't see the problem with it. I don't really see the problem with it. One thing Adam did say is we have 12 doors to El Cortez, and that makes it a little harder to keep certain people out, and they don't want these types of machines attracting them. So I don't know that he was going after AP specifically. When I was staying at Fremont last year, man, the people who would sneak in, it was pretty crazy. Security was running them out all the time. So I kind of understand both sides of this.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how bad they are towards AP players. And from the comments under Bill's post on X, it seems like they're pretty upfront about not trespassing them, but moving them out or saying that they're not wanted there. And if that's sour rooters and people that are making their regular clientele uncomfortable, then totally understand it. If they're just doing it to anybody that is focusing on playing those machines, then I think there is some hypocrisy here. And other people made mention that they want to keep those for their influencers. They let the influencers play them for big money, which, yeah, if they're hitting bonuses, that looks great on the video, looks great for your property. And then there's even like rumors that they save them for them. I don't know that that's true or anything like that. But if they are allowing like these big YouTube content creators play it and play games that they know are in like a positive realm or near a bonus type of thing like he does in his video, then I do think that's some hypocrisy. If they say they don't really want those players, but hey, if you have a big following and it shows off, good for us, we'll let you play it. And he kind of brought this up unprompted. Like they asked about risque slots and that type of thing, and he's like, no, I'm going to bring up this. So yeah, you you don't look great when you say that, and then there's video of you playing a game that's in a positive state. I don't know. I can see it both ways.
Well, the game he was playing on his own Instagram was a game that they do have at El Cortez, Buffalo Link. So I don't quite understand that. Now, a lot of this discussion came from Keith Stein's Substack, so I want to give him credit on that. I did hear Adam say this on the actual video and how it all came out. It didn't seem like he was sort of being like that. He was just saying that if we have a wide array of Advantage machines, it's going to attract it. We've talked about like Palms. I won't go into Palms very often anymore because of the gangs of Advantage players. There's a unique struggle on East Fremont too that some of those casinos have. And I'd say, you know, this kind of sucks for Adam because now he kind of walked into the fire, and he does share a lot of insights that we don't get about any other casino in Las Vegas on those questions on Vegas Matt. So I don't know. I do see both sides of this, and I'd love to hear what people out there have to think.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from Advantage players that have tried to play there and what they feel about it, or if they've been kind of forced out, even if they're not doing sour rooting or anything along those lines.
Well, let's sweeten up the show a little bit, Mark. I saw this video, comes from Foodie Fetish on TikTok. I saw Vital Vegas share it, and it's the $150 banana split cart at Bellagio. I do believe we've talked about this before a couple years ago, but it's worth mentioning here again because it looks spectacular. This video is great. Serves up to 10. I think it comes with 12 scoops of gelato and all the fixings. This is indulgence at its best.
Yeah, if I remember right, it was somebody ordered it, didn't realize what the price was, and then was like, what the heck is this? But I mean, if you've ever liked Home Alone 2, the dessert cart type of experience, especially like around December, around the holidays, this would be kind of fun if you have your significant other there, maybe even your kids or something to experience this. I could see just splurging on it and being in your bathrobe and living that Home Alone dream.
Yeah, I'm guessing around $200 with delivery and tip and everything else. If you get 10, I mean, I can think of so many worse ways to spend $200 on food in Las Vegas. Looking the fountains, staying in your fancy room, and doing it. I feel like the price should be high. I know it's ridiculous because it's just ice cream and toppings, so the food cost is not that high, but I'm surprised it isn't
like
higher.
$12.
It's the novelty, Mark. It's the novelty. Well, I can tell you where to get cheaper all-you-can-eat ice cream. The Museum Ice Cream opened this last weekend, and we did talk a few weeks ago about it and what it is, but I saw the videos and pictures inside this place, and it looks incredible. It looks great. $42 is the cheapest ticket to get in. There's VIP options as well. Every ticket includes all-you-can-eat ice cream. Of course, they got the sprinkle ball pit. They have all the slides. They have the wedding chapel, all of it. Very pink, and it looks like one of the better venues at all of Area 15.
Yeah, I think this goes right up towards the top, like with Meow Wolf and stuff like that. And they did an excellent job. I know this isn't the only one. This is the largest one. And I think they really knocked it out of the park. And people were like, okay, all you can eat ice cream. But there's different kinds of ice cream. And there's even ice cream bars and popsicles and stuff like that. There's all kinds of different things you can eat. So it's not just like a whole bunch of cheap soft serve. I think they have some regular ice cream, hard ice cream, and then all these different variations. Each room has something you can eat, I believe, or at least you can eat in every room. A great place that looked like it was packed. So I'm really excited about that. And I would check this out. And I don't think $42 for unlimited ice cream plus all the other stuff that you get while you're in there is a bad deal at all.
This is going to be hugely popular with locals, even at that price. I have to think this is a great day out for kids to be able to experience this over-the-top thing. As cool as it is as adults, I think about the spectacle for children, and I think it's going to be great there. Like I said, we had seen pictures of the other locations. This does look like a level above that, and everything looks very well done. And at the end of the day, who doesn't want to go eat unlimited ice cream? As you say, all different types too. Go on the slides, go in the ball pit. Oh, yeah, I'm going to this place. I can't wait. Bring my daughter. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the summer, something to do during the day that cool you off. I could see a ton of, if I lived there and my kids were smaller, I mean, heck, my kids would want to go now, but especially when they were smaller, I'd be going there at least once a month and having some fun. I love the ball that they brought the ball pit back. It's just a question of like how long before they have to take it out like all the McDonald's did back in the day.
They have them at their other locations, so hopefully people can behave. You know, it makes chocolate ice cream look a little different, though.
You never know what you're going to find.
It's not too late to get your Las Vegas Advisor membership book for 2026. Hundreds of dollars in savings, hotel, gaming, dining, and you can save $5 with code MTM. It's just $45 for new members. Link down in the description. Use code MTM. Let them know that we sent you. So a little Caesars news, Mark. July 28th, they're going to release their earnings. But a little quirk here, no earnings call this time. They say as they're getting ready for their deal with Fertitta Entertainment, they're going dark as far as earnings calls. And of course, if the merger happens, the buyout closes, then they will be a private company and there won't be any more earnings calls.
I'm looking forward to it. Private company back on the strip that owns a ton of casinos. I think that's exactly what we've been hoping for. We've seen kind of Caesars take a dip the last decade or so, and I'm excited to see what he can do if he pulls this off.
And Barry Diller and MGM, that whole deal, which again is not set, like the Fertitta deal has been accepted, has to go through all of the regulatory stuff. The MGM deal is just proposed, and we haven't really heard anything else about that. So we don't know. Very likely that they could be looking at other options, or this doesn't happen, or whatever, but no update on the MGM sale. So let's talk Vanderpump, Mark, your favorite topic.
Oh boy.
But let's talk the room.
We saved it for the end, people. So if you are annoyed by this, you can skip.
Why would you be annoyed? This is the newest hotel in Las Vegas, right? The newest room product. And we're talking about different aspects of it. It's not like I'm taking you on a whole tour of the casino now again, which you've already seen, or the digital check-in, which I talked about on the last show. But I wanted to talk about the room itself. And the room is beautiful. I mean, we've seen the renders of it, and by now it's been a few weeks, so most people watching the show have probably seen pictures, videos of it. But what is it like to be inside? There's a couple takeaways I had. I think the quality of the materials is really high in the room. And these are smaller rooms, if people don't know. I think they're like 360 square feet, but they did a really good job with finding the area for the sofa and the makeup chair and also another seating area. So similar sort of setup to what they had with Cromwell, but they lightened it up tremendously. And there's Vanderpump everywhere. So you really have to like Lisa Vanderpump and dogs, because that is what you will find. Of course, the nightstand we talked about as well, where she follows you all around the room. Some people thought that was creepy. Didn't bother me. I thought the sheets were a step up over regular Caesars properties. The pillows sucked just like everywhere else. And overall, I think you can't beat the location, the access to the strip, the quick down the elevator and outside. All of that is great. And, I mean, it's a female forward room, but I really liked it.
It's weird that hotels do these cheap pillows. I mean, you said cheap foam. The worst is when it has like that stuffing and you just sink to the bottom where your head's on the mattress, even when you have two of those pillows on top of each other. I don't know why some places go so cheap on the pillows. They're not that expensive to begin with, and people just enjoy it better. And I like when they have like one soft, one firm on each side, so you can pick and choose what type you like. And I think like IHG does that really well for whatever random reason. So I'm sad to hear that. Like that the sheets are better. The beds were always pretty comfortable there, I feel like. So that's good to hear. And I think that they did a good job with setting up the room, that it feels spacious, even though it's smaller. I know you want to talk about the bathroom in a minute and how you don't love that they didn't really touch up there. It's just weird that she put so much of herself into the room. I think the design is nice and everything. I just don't know that she's that big of a name that people are like, you're not going to sell hundreds of rooms to just people that adore and love you, that want to see you everywhere.
I mean, where else can you get a room where the namesake stares at you as you walk across it? I don't know what the inspiration for those nightstands were. They didn't really bother me like some people were, but there are other pictures of her on the wall as well. So that is a big part of the design of the, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. The gray color scheme, that sort of wallpaper works really well, along with the highlights of the greens and the purples. I think the room looks very good. Again, it's a big departure from downstairs, which is very dark and moody. We've talked about that before. But yeah, the bathrooms, we knew they weren't doing a ton of work in there. The tile on my floor was chipped. It's the old cheap tile that they used to have at Cromwell. The mosaic in the shower, the white tiles are dirty because it's old and it needed to be redone. The bathrooms are tiny. It's not like they were going to work miracles in there, but they didn't do much. And then I guess the last takeaway is just a reminder of how good the fountain views are. If you get the correct room, you get some incredible views lower down. Very cool.
Yeah, it just depends on where you're at. And sometimes it's like a tiny little window. Sometimes it's better. So if you can maybe do the $20 sandwich trick and try to get a better view out of it, well worth it if you want to be staying there. You won't get the $150 Sunday or any of that experience, though.
And I got my strip view with the online check-in, so it was just luck of the draw. So, chalk that one up. Everybody's saying that you get rooftop views. I got that, and it was on a comp room from Caesars, so nothing special. I don't have any high up status or anything. I did get a comp, but I had to pay the resort fee, so that tells you how special I am. But yeah, overall, really good. The lobby looks beautiful. The rest of the property looks great. And just speaking of the room product, There are far worse rooms. I would stay here over Caesar's Palace. I've stayed there twice this year. Caesar's Palace. I would take this a million times over Caesar's Palace, over just about everything else, I think, in Caesar's portfolio. It's that nice. It's different. It makes you feel, fancy.
I haven't stayed in the rooms in the new Versailles Tower, but I do like the Paris rooms. I always have. I mean, they're a little bit worn down. They've been out there for a while, so they get beat up like every room in Vegas. But I do think that those newer rooms, especially if you have a balcony room, I think those would be the top tier in the Caesars portfolio. But this would probably be second or third for me.
This actually feels like it could be a nicer room at Paris, in my opinion. Like it could fit in with all of that. But yeah, I agree. You would expect Caesar's Palace would be on your list. And if you're not in Nobu, I don't think the product at Caesar's Palace really matches up. And then you have to deal with, I mean, the Octavius Tower, those walks I had to go through. And then just the idea of being right here at Vanderpump, you're right out to the strip. You're right where everything is in the action of the casino. It is a great property, one that shouldn't be overlooked. And I'm very happy to see something unique. We've talked a lot about that, Circa with their unique Vegas theme rooms, but we've seen a lack of that the last few years. And this is good to see.
No, and I was thinking when we were talking about having her photos around the room and dogs and all of that stuff, that it would have been great to have like a black and white of the Eiffel Tower, whether it be the Paris one or the one in Vegas, black and white of the fountain showing off like the view from some of the rooms. I think that would have been a better choice and brought in Vegas versus being about Lisa Vanderpump. And hey, it's her hotel, it's her design. She can do what she wants. But I think that people would have felt maybe a little bit less weird about it if that was the case.
We needed one Giada nightstand and one Vanderpump nightstand, and then all would have been fair.
Them just staring at each other with hate.
I don't know, but let us know if you've stayed at Vanderpump. What do you think about the rooms there? The Museum of Ice Cream. Are you excited about going there now that we've seen what it looks like? 4th of July, how did you celebrate it? And then the AP debate. Where do you come on that whole debate? Let us know down below. We will be back on Friday with another show, more news and happenings in Las Vegas. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
Have a good week, everybody.